papers now, see what the headlines are saying this morning. I have with me in the studio communication leadership and communication strategist, Dr. John. He is here. Dr. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
All right. We expect Dr. Daniel Kere to join us as we get along. But let's start right away from the Nation newspaper this morning. That's where we'll start from drama as Senate screens Amaechi, Mamora, others. Onu, Akpabio, Akume, Ikeazo, Oga, Adegbite, and Adamu Nwajioba cleared. Okay, those all were cleared yesterday. All right, and the screening process continues today. Let's move now to Daily Sun. 2019 elections fallout, Buhari-Atiku fight over U.S. visa ban. Action clears president of involvement in violence despite PDP's effort to taint his victory, says BMO. And then it's vindication of our position that presidential poll was undermined by action of state actors, institutions. Ex-VP is saying that. All right, let's see what News Direct is saying. News Direct is next right now. AMCON spends 1 trillion naira to rescue Skybank. And 5 trillion naira, debtors occupy leadership position. Okuru is revealing this. Calls for return of failed bank act. And EFCC seals Okorocha schools, radio station, other property in Owerri. You find all that on the front page of the News Direct. News Direct, okay. Daily Trust is where we go next now. Ministerial list. Senate to screen Silva, Magashi, 6 others today. As Akume, Amaechi, 4 others get special treatment. Okay. For senators, those who are former lawmakers seem to have a special treatment there. Special treatment in parentheses, as it's put there. Let's move now to Blueprint. Tofa is saying North will insist on presidency in 2023. Says no Southwesterner has Abiola's pedigree, and expresses reservations over June 12 recognition. You find all that on the front page of the Blueprint. The Blueprint. Okay, Vanguard is where we go next now. At presidential policy retreat, rejig security, keep off pension funds, Oshomole tells Buhari. Says rate of poverty high, assures government will build on first-term successes. And as Obaseki Oshomoles reunite at Aso Rock, my government has restored growth, curbed inflation. Buhari is saying this. Okay. From the Vanguard, let's go now to the Nigerian Tribune. The Tribune is saying, leave Yoruba land now. Afenifere tells killer Fulani herdsmen. Fulani herdsmen must return to the north. Ango Abdullahi insists. And Obasanjo lacks moral right to advise Buhari. That's the Arewa Consultative Forum is saying this, or they're quoted as saying this. You find all that on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Let's go to the Guardian now. Guardian is our last paper for this morning. Fresh hurdles against minimum wage takeoff. NLC, TUC threaten action over stalled negotiations, and experts task government on workers' salaries and the economy. Okay, you find all that on the front page of The Guardian. Okay, I have joining me right now Dr. Daniel Kere from the University of Lagos. Dr. Kere, it's nice to see you. I guess there was traffic this morning, eh?
Not exactly.
Okay.
I've told you I want to be very mindful of when I...
You're conscious of the environment.
I have to be.
All right, it's quite interesting. Okay, the nominees for ministerial nominees, the Senate had to postpone their recess. They were, postpone or adjourn. Okay, sorry. Postpone.
Whichever.
Supposed to postpone. Not adjourn. If you adjourn, then you're coming back the next day. But postpone, they are going on a break for the screening of ministerial nominees, which a lot of Nigerians applauded. And as it is right now, they started yesterday. And just like one of the papers put it, special treatment. I think it was Daily Trust that said there was special treatment for some ministers yesterday, especially for those who were former lawmakers and so on. But looking at the process generally, I wonder how you're monitoring the system and what you are getting from it. Dr. Kere, let me start with you on this one.
All right, thank you. Yes, at least I was privileged to watch part of the process, and it is expected that the Senate will, this is not the first time it is happening. We've seen that before, that those who have been, lawmakers one way or the other get special treatment. Yeah, but beyond that, I expected really that, because that you are a lawmaker, what they are doing is screening. And that screening has to do with, your profile. It's not impossible that a lawmaker could run foul of anything, that is provided for. So while giving that preferential treatment, I still expected that a few things should be, asked. Because there's a difference between being a lawmaker and being a minister. As a minister, you are not coming to make laws. You've already switched from the area of lawmaking to law implementation, more or less.
Execution.
Yes, so there are two different terrains, even though it is all within the same governmental structure. So I expected that a few questions should be asked to see what and what, such, ministers hold for the country. However, I listened to Akpabio, the uncommon Akpabio, who railed out a lot of things as their common achievements, our common senator, and our common everything. Yeah, so let's hope that he will bring to bear maybe on common security. Okay. This time around, so that the challenges and again a common implementation of the rules, so that we'll have a polity that will be able to enjoy some.
Doctor, the Senate initially had said that they were going to be thorough with the screening process, and nobody was going to be given any special treatment necessarily. But we saw some ministerial nominees took a bow, and went. So it made it look like the moment you become a lawmaker, you have everything it takes to run any office in the land. From some of the comments we're hearing from people and all of that. Meanwhile, those who became senators, the mandate was given to them from the people within their constituency of their states. So when you want to become the Senate minister, and then for the whole country, and then they give you, give you the treatment and take a bow. How does this come to you?
I think generally, apart from even the people that take bow and leave the stage, I think over time, and this is not just the first time, I think what we usually have on the floor of the Senate is just an opportunity of recognition, where you bring people and you just want the people in their community who have not known them before to know them, because they will be on national television. I'm not seeing any screening. In all honesty, I've not really, when you say something is screening, it's with the intention of identifying. I did a little bit of, what was it called? Okay. When you say something is screening, it's actually in a bid to identify whether somebody has done something wrong before. Okay. But we discovered that what we have is just somebody come on board and a few questions as to your achievement. Nobody is necessarily talking from the negative side as to what you have done wrong in the past. I think it's just an opportunity for the nation to know you and be on national television. All right. Not necessarily.
Well, we have to leave this now, but we'll follow with the developments today. More screening will go on today, and then maybe even tomorrow, depending on how many of them they scale through. Thank you very much for coming, Dr. Juan John. Thank you. Dr. Danekere, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right. You're watching TVC Breakfast, and we're streaming live on YouTube. You can connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag TVC Breakfast. They're still ahead.
Indeed, let's delve right into the papers this morning. I have with me in the studio Dr. Danekere. He's a lecturer from the University of Lagos. Dr. Ojo, Leadership and Communication Strategist, is also here with us. Gentlemen, good morning.
Thank you.
All right, we begin with The Nation. The lead story there is drama as Senate screens Amaechi, Mamora, others. Onu, Akpabio, Akume, Ikazo, Oga, Adigbite, Adamu, Wadriba, all cleared with a list of another 8 for screening today. Daily Sun says 2019 elections fallout. We see them towing a different line. It says Buhari, Atiku fight over U.S. visa ban. Action clears president of involvement in violence despite PDP's effort to taint his victory. That's according to BMO. But the former vice president is quoted as saying it's vindication of our position that presidential poll was undermined by action of state actors and institutions. To News Direct now, which leads with AMCON spending 1 trillion naira to rescue Skybank, another 5 trillion naira debtors occupy leadership positions, according to Kuru, and calls for return of failed bank act. EFCC also reported that to seal or to have sealed Okorocha School's radio station, other properties in Owerri. Let's check out Daily Trust now. Ministerial list is the top story there. Senate to screen Silva, Magashi, 6 others today as Akume, Amaechi. 4 others get what they call special treatment. On Blueprint, Tofa, North will insist on presidency in 2023. Says no Southwesterner has Abiola's pedigree, expresses reservations over June 12 recognition. On the Vanguard this morning, at presidential retreat, APC chairman Oshomole is quoted to tell President Buhari, rejig security, keep off pension funds. He says further that the rate of poverty is high, assures that government will build on first-term successes as Obaseki Oshomole reunite at Asu Rock. President Buhari also insists that his government has restored growth and curbed inflation. Let's see Nigerian Tribune. Leave Yoruba land now. That's from Afeni Ferry to killer Fulani herdsmen. The herdsmen must return to the north. Ango Abdullahi insists Obasanjo lacks moral right to advise Buhari. Finally, at this time, the lead story is what The Guardian calls fresh hurdles against minimum wage takeoff. NLC-TUC threaten action over stalled negotiations. Experts tax government on workers' salaries and the economy. Gentlemen, let's still retain the subject on the screening, the ongoing screening. For you, Dotso, what is key or what's your take home from yesterday?
Okay, from yesterday, and I'm going to start from the list. I, as a person that studied leadership and have been involved in the art over time, I think the major challenge we have was slightly highlighted in the list, and that's the challenge of psychophancy. You see, the reason why African organizations die with their owners is because they will always want sycophants around them, and that's the same thing we have translated into government and to religious houses. For example, and I'm going to cite one example, is the example of the Minister of State for Petroleum. I had expected that this man will come back because either we like it or not, he's a man that has, you will agree with me that he understands the workings in the NNPC and how things can be done better.
Are you guessing now who the next Minister of Petroleum might be?
I'm not even concerned about who the next minister. I'm just saying that that has actually revealed that either we like it or not, because you discover that he doesn't have, sometimes when he's talking, he's not talking as a real politician. For example, when the Niger Delta University issue, or I can't remember the name of the university, came up, and Amaechi said, Amaechi was concerned about the principle. But you saw that this man was concerned about the people. The principle is good, but putting principle above your people will always end in disaster. So you discover that he was not totally towing their line, and when the list came out that he was not there, I said, wow, again, we know where we are headed.
And talking about who's a better politician, some have also compared the likes of former Governor Akume and the former agricultural minister who's from the same state, Audu Ogbe, with the argument that the former governor was or will make a better politician, hence his inclusion in the list.
Well, thank you. I don't know if what they are looking for is a better politician or somebody who will be able to deliver on deliverables. For me, it's as good as the same recycling, you know. We were actually looking forward to having some greenhorns, you know, in this list. And from all indications, it's like just, you know, bringing back the same people.
The president does not know greenhorn, you know.
Exactly. that is the real challenge, you know. And from what we have seen, you can easily, you know, predict where we are going, that there's not going to be any difference. So the question of the next level, I don't know if the next level is moving forward or coming backward. I really cannot place it. However, the screening itself, looking at the ministerial list and the screening exercise, I expected, perhaps maybe in the next the next exercise, the ones that will take place today, the other people, because many of them are not from the National Assembly. Even those from the National Assembly, I expected that some more, you know, screening activity should be done. we call it screening. Screen them the way somebody should be screened.
And
let's
like
see
they
what
promised.
they have. Yeah, let's see their profile. Let's see what they have done over time. Let's see the ones that did well, the ones that did badly, and with that we'll be able to project whether these people can actually do something better in time to come.
Let's follow Dr. Ekere's cue now. So today another batch will begin. The likes of Sunday Dare will have their shot. Right. We can talk about him now. Some have said, could he just be the next Minister of Information, looking at his pedigree in journalism? What's your take?
Of course he can, but the major challenge is that we may not actually get the screen. I just thought about it when Dr. Ikere was talking, that we may not actually get the screening in the real sense of it if we do not have first the DSS forward whatever their outcome of their investigation on each of the ministerial nominees
that is
to the Senate, so that at least they have an understanding that this is the person and this is what DSS has been able to find out concerning them. Number two, we may not have a proper screening if we do not have a nominee coming with perhaps the ministry is going to head. For example, if my name is being sent to the National Assembly and they say, Dr. John is going to head Ministry of Happiness, at least people will know that, oh, I am going to head the Ministry of Happiness, and whatever they are going to screen me on will be related with that. And I think it's going to make their job easier, and we have screening in the real sense of it.
Dr. Dan, what's your take as we cap this session?
Well, generally, Nigerians are expecting so much.
Do you think today will be better, for example?
From all indications, the trend is the same.
It's the same.
I don't see any magic coming up. But we are just imploring the Senate to do the needful. We expected that by now they would have had the dossier of all these people. Every detail they needed should have been with them. On the basis of that, you should raise questions. And I trust that a man like Senator Abaribe has that critical, disposition. That
we saw him show
obviously,
some of that
over time,
yesterday.
his questions are usually very critical. I expected that such questions should actually be raised. And he did tell us that if given the opportunity, he would have made Akpabio sweat.
To sweat.
So why not Akpabio actually sweat under the AC? Let's see. That sweat perhaps will bring out the best of it.
All right, Dr. Dan Ekere. Dr. Ojo, many thanks for
Thank
your
you.
time. You're watching TVC Breakfast, and we're streaming live on YouTube. You can connect with us as well on Twitter using the hashtag TVC Breakfast.
Let's head into the papers now, see what some of the headlines are this morning on Nigerian newspapers. I have with me in the studio Dr. Dan Ekere from the University of Lagos, and also Dr. Ojo, Leadership and Communication Strategist. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
Right. Let's begin with the Nation. Right. Let's begin with the Nation newspaper this morning. Drama as Senate screens Amaechi, Mamora, others. Onu, Akpabio, Akume, Ikeazo, Oga, Adegbite, Adamu, Nwajuiba cleared. Yes, that's still going on. The screening continues this morning. From the Nation, let's go to Daily Sun. The 2019 elections fallout. Buhari Atiku fight over U.S. visa ban. Action clears president of involvement in violence despite PDP's effort to taint his victory, says BMO. And it's vindication of our position that presidential poll was undermined by action of state actors, institutions. Ex-VP is saying this. Right. From Daily Sun, let's go to the News Direct now. News Direct, AMCON spends 1 trillion naira to rescue Skybank. You find that on the front page of the News Direct. And 5 trillion naira debtors occupy leadership positions. Kuru is revealing this. You find all that on the front page of the News Direct. A calls for return of failed Bank Act. And EFCC seals Okorocha schools, radio station, other property in Owerri. All of those on the front page of the News Direct. Let's go to Daily Trust. Ministerial list Senate to screen Silva Magashi and 6 others today as Akume, Amaechi, 4 others get special treatment. That's what you see on the front page of the Daily Trust. Blueprint is where we go next. Tofa, North will insist on presidency in 2023. Says no Southwesterner has Abiola's pedigree. Expresses reservations over June 12 recognition. You find all that on the front page of the Blueprint. Let's go to Vanguard now. Vanguard at presidential policy retreat, rejig security, keep off pension funds. Oshomole tells Buhari, says rate of poverty is high, assures government will build on first-term successes. As Obaseki Oshomole's reunites at Aso Rock, My government has restored growth, curbed inflation. Buhari is saying this. Okay, you find all that on the front page of the Vanguard. Nigerian Tribune is where we go next. Leave Yoruba land now, Afenifere tells killer Fulani herdsmen. And Fulani herdsmen must return to the north, Ango Abdullahi insists. And Obasanjo lacks moral right to advise Buhari. The Arawa Consultative Forum is saying this. Okay, let's move from the Nigerian Tribune now to The Guardian. The Guardian is the last paper we're looking at this morning now. Fresh hurdles against minimum wage takeoff. NLC, TUC threaten action over stalled negotiations, and experts task government on worker salaries and on the economy. All right, that's what you find on The Guardian, and that's what I want us to talk about right now. Gentlemen, there seem to be some undercurrents going on this issue of the national minimum wage. The federal government has given the go-ahead and an approval. The president has given approval for the implementation of 30,000 naira for those earning, or the new persons who will be earning 30,000 naira from level 1 to 7. But NLC and the organized labor is not happy with that on the issue of a staggered implementation of this minimum wage. I wonder how this comes to you, Dr. Kere. Let's start with you.
Well, for me, I see it as a strategy, even though, you know, in a way, it will be beneficial to a group of persons. It seems to me like the government does not have, you know, the will to actually want to effect what it has agreed upon. And but one way try to break.
They still haven't agreed on the consequential differences between those who will be earning.
All of that would have been factored in before the implementation.
Okay.
And it shouldn't take this long. What does it take to actually do all of that? You know, it's a question of accounting, a question of, you know, economy and the rest of it. Now, the idea of staggering this in will create some sense of, you know, the disconnect and bad blood, even within the labor forces, because those who will be getting this benefit, and NLC, TUC, and the rest are saying, no, it should not be now, they will begin to see labor as the one opposing what they should be benefiting, when in actual fact, the fight is for everybody. So I expected that the government would have gone the whole hog and go ahead to implement everything in full, so that you don't begin to create what will happen to the other ones. In, you know, keeping arrears, does that help the government? So why not just get everything on board and let's know that we have taken off. Already we are in arrears of some months.
Exactly. From April.
Yeah, it was in April. So when you look at it from that perspective, what is happening to that one? And you now want to implement, you know, a part of it. The remaining, what will happen? Okay. That you are hoping that money will fall from heaven to do that. So you should have put everything in place.
Maybe it's not even about the money here yet.
So what is it about?
Maybe it's just about the principle.
What principle is there?
A lot of labor watchers have said that this strategy by government is a way of breaking the ranks of labor and then clipping their wings in such a way that the idea of you know, minimum wage according to what you can pay that the state is pushing, so that can be achieved as a way of running away from the revenue formula sharing.
Yeah, you see, government just wants to take the glory of a new minimum wage without paying the price for the glory. You can't just say you want to implement a new minimum wage and still be thinking, oh, we are not going to do it this way. The idea is this: whosoever is selling it to government is that they said to government that government does not have enough fund. That's just the truth. That because that's what you hear even the state governors say over time. And you know the principle, either directly or indirectly, they are trying to tell you, oh, you will not have enough fund to execute project. But in real sense of it, it is you will not have enough fund to steal. That's the reality. Because when you consider the amount of money we have as a people in Naira and Kobo, you discover that our problem is not more money, as I used to say. It is just bringing in more strategic management capacity so that you'll be able to manage the resources you have. So the fear is not as to whether there will be no money to execute project.
So in the true sense of it, the Naira and Kobo is in abundance.
It's in abundance. It's actually that the flowing ones, the ones that are flowing around, we may not have them. The arrears, the unnecessary arrears here and allowances here and there, you may not have them. So that's the fear of government. They just want to take the glory, and they are not ready if in reality money is not the issue.
All right, Dr. Kere, what are you looking at? The point is, NSA is insisting that they would not accept the concept of staggered payment.
No.
You pay some persons, and then the others will keep negotiating. What scenario can play out here? What are you looking at?
A lot, because at the time the government is able to achieve what it's trying to do, the very mobile force of the labor will be kind of, broken, will be destroyed, because the particular cadre that you want to implement, they are paid.
They are the full soldiers of
NLC. At the time you pay them, what will be the ground? What will be the moral justification for, this group of people going on strike when labor calls and look, there's this happening? And you know that the top, usually, just like what happens in so many other organizations, the top is not usually to, carry
They are not on the field.
When it comes to all those acts. So you would have taken away the power house of, NLC. And that is what the government is trying to. So I am thinking that labor should continue with its position. Let even the other cadre that is, is going to benefit from this exercise some patience. Let's ensure that everything takes off at the same time. Right. That is the only way we'll be able to achieve some level of not only unanimity, but unity. So that at any point, collective bargaining will be able to, bring to bear something reasonable. Otherwise, there will be a problem.
Okay, we have to leave you here now. We look forward to greater days ahead for workers and the whole of Nigeria. Thank you very much, Dr. Daniel Kere, for coming on the program.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Dr. John, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. You're watching TVC Breakfast, and we're streaming live on YouTube. You can connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag TVC Breakfast. Still ahead on the show, Nigeria's auto industry